Okay, so yet another Linux distribution to have a look at. This one's going to be one of the most attractive Linux distributions out there. It's called POPos. It's made by a brilliant company called System76, who also make computers. Well, make them. They build them. They're an systems integrator. And they're in America, and they make amazing computers as well. And what they do is obviously do Windows, but this is their sort of version of Linux that you can download for free, stick on your computer, and run. And it looks great. And it's like got support as such, you know, it's like a proper OS type thing. And they do win the award for the best desktop selection that you get with Linux anyway. So when you download it, you can get like an NVIDIA version, which I've got, or you can get an AMD version. And they're a little bit behind distribution. It's based on Ubuntu, and it's a sort of, the distribution is a bit behind because they test everything before they release it. So off the bat, I've got OBS working, you can see, so let's get rid of that. And there we are, System76, absolutely brilliant wallpapers. Sorry, I'm going to go and have a look at the change background. You can see here, they've got brilliant, let's have a giant robots. Yeah, and then the big 76 logo, orange, that's a great color. Let's put that one up. Okay, so yeah, so really nicely laid out, and it's really clean. I think it's GNOME, and for them straight away you've got the Pop Shop, which is basically where you can download all your software. So it's really nicely split up. You've got audio, all the stuff pops in, you know, everything you need. So when I've gone ahead, trawled through the Pop Shop, no extra bits here. I don't have to go off and backload in Flatpak and all sorts of stuff like that. Pretty much everything's here for you already. So I've gone ahead, and you can go up the top here, click applications. I've got everything. So I've already put Resolve on. I'll go through that bit. Blender. I've got OBS running, obviously. I've got Shutter Encode, which I'll talk about later. I've got Alpaca, which is an AI front end. We'll talk about that in a minute as well. But yeah, so pretty much in there. For the first thing to do is obviously Steam. So, you know, with this sort of series that I'm doing, it's sort of like the major food groups. So it's, can you play games? How do you do graphics? Content creation, video and stuff like that, and AI as well. So let's just do the basic simple thing, which is launch Steam. It is interesting on some of these distributions. It's like not as snappy how it loads, or as, I don't know, like Bazite, you click on it and it's boom. With it does it. I mean, obviously these aren't directly optimized for games like Bazite is. So here we go, we've got games up, and I've got something installed, probably library, home, and as usual you just go Steam settings, have a look, compatibility. I've got Proton experimental, that's great. What's installed on here? Is anything installed? Let's click on that. Let's just put Dredge, D-R-E, Dredge quickly. There it is, Dredge. Let's install it. I thought I installed this. Install really quick to install it. It's like a 700 meg program. Library, downloads. They should come in pretty quick. Downloads these, which are like part of the Proton layer. And what Proton is, if you don't realize, no, it's a translation layer, and it sits between Windows applications and Linux, and basically interprets it, translates it. So it's super quick. And it is interesting, you get on some systems, you can get like advantages over Windows, because remember, there's like minimal resource usage with Linux. Windows is like up here using everything before it lets you have space to run your program. So it's bizarre, you know, it's like starting further down the field for Linux if you're racing with Windows. So you get really good performance out of Linux for gaming. And it's really, right now, like Steam, Bazite, Chimera, things like this, and still obviously Steam OS are driving for the adoption of Linux, which is a great thing because this is free, and most of the software on here I'm going to show you is free. I mean, you can pay for DaVinci Resolve if you want. I would recommend you do it because it's got some really super functions in it, but I mean, it's literally costs you next to nothing, and there's been some amazing people over the years who've developed this free software, and you just get to use it. And now's the right time because, I mean, you can transplant all your games over to Steam. You can play all your Steam games on Linux now, pretty much all of them. There's a few that have problems because of anti-cheat methodology, things like that. But yeah, you know, the bulk of them runs. We just download it. If you look on my shorts channel, I've got 1,700 games on Steam. Don't ask me. Don't tell anybody. And I'm going through every single one of those games and doing a 3-minute short to see if it works on Bazi, which is the main system I use. But I mean, you could use any of this. Is great. So that's downloaded. Let's click play, and let's see if it just launches straight off the bat, which it says it. Hopefully it would. And there we go. So there's the game launching. I've got the frame counter in the top left. Team 17. Very simple, but not a simple game. It's a very beautiful game. I think it's like made by 4 people. It's incredible for 4 people development. I love it. Anyway, let's just click continue. And there we are. It's my boat. Let's just drive my boat around for a bit. It's sort of like an adventure game where you fish, dredge stuff up, including the title. And yeah, it's a really good game. It's well worth playing. Anyway, quit. Do you want to leave? Confirm. And quit. And I mean, if you wanted to go to like big picture mode, you can do that as well. You can, hang on, he says, view big picture mode. So you can launch into big picture mode, which is like full screen, do its thing, and then turn your OS into basically a gaming platform. Welcome to big picture mode. Press. A bit laggy. Probably the first time it's done it. Never run of this before. Anyway, so you're basically got, let's move around in here. There you go. So you can move around do you want, and then you've got your controls, power. In the Bazi, this is like silky smooth. I'd keep it on desktop mode for this. So exit big picture mode. There we go. We're back out of Steam now. Let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of Steam. Is that still running? I think it's gone. Anyway, okay. So yeah, so that's Steam. You can do that. No problem at all. So content creation. So you've got tons of apps you can use for content creation. You can, you know, for photos, not photos, for a Photoshop replacement, you've got GIMP, but you've got this as well, which is called, it is still running. Go away, Steam. You've got, using my memory up. Here we go. So not now. You've got a thing called Photopea, which is a free online Photoshop thing that you can use. Very great. And you get a paid version, which is like $5 a month. Agree. So PSD files, all the stuff, new project, print, mobile, screen. What are we going to do? 4K title, template. Let's get that, create. Yeah, you got advertising on the free version, but on the paid version you don't get it. So you could do your graphics up here. Let's just, what have we got? Type tool, he says. Let's just grab that. That's tiny. Make that bigger. So there you go. So it's Photoshop-ish. You've got everything up there, like layers and all that. So that's in the cloud. You can always use GIMP, which is a really well-known desktop application for Linux. But then you can also, there's a thing called PhotoGIMP. PhotoGIMP, not now. PhotoGIMP. PhotoGIMP, which is like, you download it. It's really quite easy to, it's a patch that sits over the top and makes GIMP look like Photoshop, or try and be like Photoshop. So if you like spend years of working in Photoshop, it's not hard to, you know, muck around with it. So that's, you know, that's sort of graphics bits. And then you've got photography. So you've got Darktable, which is a really powerful. I've got a picture in here. So it's like Lightroom, Capture One. Let's go to the darkroom over here. Color balance. You've got all your toys over here. Color balance, local contrast, micro contrast. If I crank that up, it'll get sharper. Here we go. Look at that fog. That's the Dead Sea, by the way. So yeah, you've got tons, all the controls, a little bit of learning to understand everything. We've got there working, soft proof, grids, tons of stuff, history, tagging, image information, you know, everything you'd expect in a image processing package like Capture One. So you've got that. Now, what else have we got in here? We've got, I'll do Resolve in a minute. Now, what I've done, I put Chromium on here, but I put Alama. Now, interesting on this. Olama's a local AI, and you can install Olama from the website. So do this bit first. So you can install Olama, not now. Olama.com. Oh, not that. We'll come back to that. Olama. You click download. You get that command. You then launch terminal window, paste that in, and it will basically download Olama, which is like the engine that runs local large language models for you. And then you get a list of models you can install, and you can install them and run them. And obviously, if you're running them here, you need a 16 gig card. You shouldn't really go over about 10 gig, 12 gig for a model, but you can run 8 million parameter, 12 billion parameter models locally, no issue whatsoever. And how you do it, you just jump back into this now, and then you go to your available models. Now I'm showing you something different here. We'll come back to this, and you'll have loads of models like this, but you run them locally. However, a 16 gig graphics card is £500-600, whatever it is. And obviously, once you're using it, it's using all your RAM. There's a much simpler way to do it, and it's cheaper. And I must sort of correct my Linux Mint video, because you can't do the text-to-speech unless you do this part. So there's a system called Groq. Not now. Groq. Let's go to Groq. Okay, and what Groq is basically all the models in the cloud running on computers. So all you're doing is like you're just talking to them. And the pricing, let's go to the pricing. It's on the front page now. Models, rate limit, pricing. You just log into this, Groq. And you can see the models are ridiculously cheap to use, really cheap. So it's pay as you go. So they've got all these. So you can use a 12 billion parameter model for 0.15 cents for 6.7 million tokens. Super cheap. So you do pay as you go, and you're paying what you need. But what this does have, and we'll need it later on, you can hook up and use the AI text-to-speech models, or speech-to-text. And they're pretty cheap per hour of transcription. Now you go online, go to one of those transcription services. I mean, you can do it. This is why you would either pay for DaVinci Resolve, that does transcription built in, but you're using the free version of Resolve, you can't do it. So it's a choice. To spend the $225, don't need to do any of this, and you still run your local language models. Or you can do this and pay Whisper Turbo. I'm using 4 cents for an hour's worth of transcription. If you try and do that with anywhere online, you won't be paying 4 cents, I don't think. So, but you can hook this in. This is what I've done. I've hooked it in up here, Whisper large model. I've got it in. And what we'll do is, when we do the Resolve bit, I'll do some transcription, and then I'll show you we can do the transcription and the AI. And I'm hooked up to OpenAI, GPT. Let's do another one. So let's add in a little bit more expensive. Let's add in the 120 billion parameter model. So that's mine to play with on the desktop. And so that's AI. Really, really simple. I mean, so just ask it a question. I don't know. Give me a pancake recipe. Because it's doing inference, that's quicker than what you would do with ChatGPT. And I think the GPT OSS model is sort of like 04 mini level of cleverness. So it's pretty good. So it's good enough for, a lot of stuff that you can do. So that's, so let's switch it back to Whisper Turbo. Okay, so we've got AI, we've got games, and then we've got editing and content creation, editing, video, all that. So I mean, I'll show you, you can put Blender on here, easy. Blender's an immensely powerful 3D rendering package that you can do all sorts of stuff with. So you've got modeling, sculpting, UV editing, texture painting, shading, animation, rendering, compositing. I mean, there's a lot to learn here, but it's there if you want it. And it's super powerful and quick on this machine. Don't save. And then let's move on to Resolve. So to get Resolve on isn't the easiest of things on the planet. Basically, it's great. There's a Linux distribution of the Linux version of it that you can install very simply onto your machine if you know how to install it. So I've written tons of these scripts to help people get Resolve onto their platforms. And there's one called the Universal Installer, which does a lot of them. I've done some for some specific installations, which are quite tricky. So like Catchy, you need to do it a very specific way. But Debian, which this is all based on, really, really simple. So what you do is I'll put the link in the description of the video, and then you can download the script And then what you do is you put it in, you expand the script, you download the DaVinci Resolve installer, whichever one, the free version, which is this, or the studio version, put it in here, that little file there, and you basically open up command, this. All you need to do is drag in DaVinci Resolve, the installer file into there, run it, and it will install DaVinci Resolve on your system. Now, there are some caveats. AMD systems, I have not cracked how to get them to work properly on AMD with AMD cards. Works all the time with NVIDIA, no problem whatsoever. DaVinci Resolve is not really mapped out for AMD anymore on Linux. It's very much NVIDIA because of CUDA. So once you've got it on, I've got the free version. You can launch it. Sense, there we go. Get rid of PopShop. There's my face. Get rid of PopShop. Let's get rid of that. Okay, so let's just jump into it. Create. And we're in. Now, the first time you ever launch this in Linux, when you've installed it, it will have the tiniest of font interface. So the first thing you ever do with it, preferences, go to user, and then change the UI scale on here to 200. And then you've got, it'll look like this. So there you go. And if you've not used Resolve before, it's brilliant. You've got a media pool where your media sits. You've got this quick edit mode. I never use it. You've got editing, brilliant. You've got Voodoo Dark Magic, which is Fusion. And it's brilliant, but I don't know how to use that. Color, my area, because I used to be a colorist. Basically Fairlight, audio, again, for the audio peeps. And then you've got the delivery tab. So it's really well laid out. So I thought we'd do, because it's the free version, there are some caveats with the free version. And I get this a lot. People ask me, I've uploaded my video, it's seeing black, all this kind of stuff. That's potentially you on an AMD card, that one. But the key thing is, the free version doesn't support H.264 or H.265, because both of those require a license. And obviously, they're licensed in Microsoft Windows, they're licensed in Mac OS X, but they're not licensed in Linux. So DaVinci Blackmagic can't give you these because they're not licensed. So if you've got an NVIDIA card, a recent one, you do have, which is the best way to work, AV1. AV1 is not a licensed codec. It was created by Netflix, Google, and Sony, because obviously all these people, and YouTube, or Google, they don't want to pay the codec fee for the licensing fee for H.264, H.265. So they've created their own, this conglomeration. They've created AV1, which is free. That means anybody can use it, and it's obviously better than H.265 and better than H.264. Most of the programs you probably now watch on Netflix and most of your YouTube videos will be delivered in AV1, because obviously they want to get rid of H.264 and H.265 because they're paying money, they're corporations. But lucky for us, this does work on the free version of Resolve. So what you potentially need to do is convert your files to AV1, convert them to ProRes, or convert them to something else, but not MP4, MP5. And I'll show you an good app to do that kind of stuff. So there you go, you've got AV1. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to stop this recording that I'm doing now. I'm going to use the file I just recorded, which I'm recording in AV1 at 60p. I'm going to put that in Resolve. I'm going to show you the power of the AI thing and how cheap it is. But I mean, seriously, the £225 you pay for, $299 you pay for DaVinci Resolve, it's the best money you'll ever spend on software, because you can put it on Mac, you can put it on Windows, you can put it on Linux. It's used by Hollywood. I don't work for them, but it's a dumb move if you sit there and complain about the free version when you just need to shell out a little bit more money, get that, and you've got unbelievable power at your fingertips. But with that in mind, I'll show you the way to sort of use AI to do it all a bit cheaper. So I'm going to stop this, and then I'm going to start it again. Okay, so I've just stopped and started. We'll use what I've just done in Resolve. So let's go up to Open up Resolve. And I'll just grab that project. And I'll go into Media, and I should be looking at video, and I should have an MP4 file in here. It's that one. Not that one. Let's have a look where that's gone. Where are you? Where are you? Downloads music's video. Video. MP4. What's this? Have I done this into home? Yes. Okay, classic mistake there. I put that, let's put that into, let's put these two into, or not that one, that's still recording, that one into video. I didn't set up where my files were. So let's go. A nasty moment there while I wasn't recording, so let's just, can we refresh that? There it is, look. There it is. Okay, let's put that there. Change the clip rate to 60p. Create a timeline, create a new timeline. Don't want to use project settings. I'm going to change my format to UHD, which is some VistaVision. There we are, UHD. Create, double click on that. Now in the timeline, so you can see my speech at the bottom there. There's me chatting away. And okay, so you made your YouTube video, for example. I mean, let's just show a bit of graphics and stuff like that. Effects, generators. You've got all sorts of title effects. Where are we? Generators. Look, I've got, where were they? 3D logo, right? Let's move that down there. 3D rotate. I mean, you got all sorts of stuff to play with it, even in the free version of that. That's the can't be a good cheesy title with light rays. So yeah, so you've got tons of stuff to play with in here. Now, you've made your video and you want to write the description and you want to do it keyword friendly, all this sort of business for uploading to YouTube. Now, if you were using the powerful version of Resolve, the paid version, you'd hit this button here and transcribe the timeline. So we can't be using the free one. So we can't use any of these cool tools. So over here, you've got audio. So AI dialogue leveler. You've got that, but you don't have AI voice isolation to remove the background stuff. So you're missing loads of bits. So anyway, so let's just get this. We want to get this out for transcription. So let's just do, I don't want video. I want audio. I want QuickTime. I want a WAV file, 24-bit. And I'm going to browse and put that into this folder. So I'm literally going to fire my no treatment, just going to fire the audio file out. Okay. Add to render queue. File exists already. Timeline name. Hang on a minute. So let's call it something. Let's call it me. Add to render queue. There you go. Render all. So that's going to blitz out my audio, which is probably going to, hopefully it's doing 1,000 frames a second, so it shouldn't take long. You can see at the top there. And then what we'll do is we use the AI to make a transcription. And then we use the transcription to actually make our video, thing for YouTube. Now, I did this on the Mint video that I've just done, and I forgot that you do need to be hooked up to Groq for the text to speech. So someone's going to pick me up on this. So I apologize. You do need you can't do it completely in Alpaca. You have to have Groq attached, which is the cloud thing. It's really simple. Just go there, generate an API key, pop it in the thing, and you're off. It's really simple. Cut and paste. Hang on. So 65% complete. Hey, nearly there. There are a few bits missing from this. You can't export directly to YouTube from this version, which is a shame. It does speed up your workflow a little bit. But I mean, you know, you've got like ridiculously powerful piece of software here. And it runs, I mean, POP. Talk about POP. I mean, it's great operating system. If you're going to start off with Linux, you can't go wrong with this. It's just, it looks great, it looks cool. So let's come out of this. It does everything you need. It's got a proper company behind it. There's like about, I don't know, 30 people on the development, 4 or 5 people on the development team, but they put it on their systems. It's great. So, you know, I can't speak highly enough about POP. It's a really, really good OS. So it's launched Alpaca. And now what we're going to do is going to switch. I've downloaded this, not downloaded, I've connected to a Groq, and it's going to cost me, this is going to cost me, probably about 2 cents, 3 or 4p UK money. And then what I need to do is find it, downloads. I don't know why this is going to be funky, my selector. So I want to go to video and me wave and open. Now it's going to transcribe it. So once it's transcribed it, I can save the transcription out and then bring it back in again. Now, obviously, if you've got the paid version, you skip to this bit, but then you bring it back in and you use your AI. So it's doing its thing, but it's talking to the cloud to do this. So it's probably cost me, I don't know, not much money at all. Give it a sec. The other problem I've had with this is when you try and do things locally, when you've got a 60 gig card, it tops up the memory, and there's something people forget. A llama holds a model in memory for up to 5 minutes if you don't use it. So people lose all their video RAM, and then after 5 minutes it vanishes. You can change the timing on that, but most people don't know how to do it, and they get really confused. They don't know when they've got no video. They try and launch a game, but their video RAM's still got a 12 gig model sat in it, and they can't work out why it doesn't work. So just be wary of that. Once you use the AI here locally, you've got 5 minutes of the model sitting up in the memory before it comes out. So I mean, we can actually have a quick look at what's going on with the memory here. You won't be doing anything locally, but you can just use NVIDIA -SMI, and that command shows you what's going on with what's going on. So Steam's still there. Won't let go. So it's using there's 2 gig of memory being used at the moment, and the most of it's being used by OBS by me recording. And you can do clever commands like watch -n.5. Now what I'm telling it to do is to start to loop this, and then NVIDIA, if he spells it correctly, SMI, and that should, yeah. So what's happening now, that will check every half a second or 0.5 of a second what's going on with the video memory, and it'll update it. So it's like a quick monitor. I mean, you've got system monitors, but this is, there you go, it just does it. So I'll tell you what's going on. Anyway, so my transcription is finished, close terminal, and me. So if I click on that, now I can download this, and this is the whole, and we'll put that, and it's an MD5 markup language, so me, and we're going to put that into videos again, save, save, okay, cancel. Now, once I've got that, I can switch models to OpenAI, and then, because you should remember this, using the attached transcription, write me a keyword friendly YouTube description for my video. See if that works. There we go. Bash that out, and there's my description. So hang on, that's like just listing stuff out. So what I'm going to say to it is, can you make this less like a list and more of a description? Now you get 5,000 characters in a YouTube thingy, so description, and use 4,500 CHR to do it. So it'll just bang out. There we go. So it's giving me a nice written one. Can I have a title? Can I have a title? There we go. POPos 2024 review, gaming video to AI on a free Linux distribution, Steam Resolve, Llama and more. Job done. So literally you can copy and paste this and put this on your YouTube video. Anyway, last thing I'm going to show you, which is really, really handy. As I said, let's get rid of that. As I said, you're the free version. You can't use H.264, you can't use H.265. So you've got camera originals or stuff you've shown your FX3 or whatever. There's no problem with the Blackmagic. All the high-end stuff works. Blackmagic, Red, everything, Canon CRM files, all those major video files work in here. It's just H.264 and H.265. So if you're doing OBS, use AV1. So I'll show you this app, and it's brilliant. And thankfully it scales properly on this system. So it's called Shutter Encoder. Just look for it, download it. It's a DB and it'll install. And what you can do with this, you can chuck a file in here. Let's find a file. So video, and I've got an MP4. Let's just use, I don't know, that one. Put that in there, and then you can tell it to do, and there's a billion functions. I can tell it to rewrap, replace, convert it to QuickTime, Cineform, broadcast codecs, old codecs. You can literally get it to do anything you like. And also, by the way, and it's probably illegal, you could rip videos from YouTube with this. Just hit video and you just paste in the thing in there. It's like a Swiss Army knife. So if I just select that, that, and then I'm going to select, I don't know, let's turn it into, so you could convert with H.264 because it's bolted into FFmpeg, which is allowed. Resolve won't do that. So let's just do Apple ProRes. And there you go. There's my video. And I can just start the function and it'll render it out in whatever ProRes I want. So, you know, AV1, and off you go. So that's it. So if you're converting old stuff where you've got H.264, H.265, you can put it in here, convert to AV1, bring it in, convert to something else. But yeah, so all your looks, you know, needs to after. So PopOS is fantastic. It's a really, really good Linux distribution for someone starting out. Before you get more tweaky and you want to like run catchy and all these, you know, these kind of things, you can do everything you want on it. It's got everything you need. It's supported well, Office, all that rubbish. You know, it's just great. All the standard tools. It looks brilliant, and you know, it's free. So there you go. So that's PopOS for the creator. I mean, I don't really cover audio stuff. I mean, you've got Fairlight built into Fairlight's built into DaVinci Resolve, but you've got Audacity, tons of you know, if you go into the Pop Shop, you look at the audio section, you've got tons of software for audio editing, splicing. There's proper stuff. There's even paid stuff in here as well that you can do. Adore is really well respected digital workstation. Doors, you know, Doors digital audio workstation. You've got all sorts in here. There was one I found, Bitwig Studios. This is like there's a paid version of this. I mean, it's quite cool. So if your audio is your thing, I mean, there's plenty to play with in here. Plenty of stuff, drum kits. It's like years of people have been pottering and making this stuff. Anyway, so that's PopOS and Creator Tools. I mean, your options are here limitless, aren't they, really? There's nothing you can't do now on this. And it's free, apart from paying for DaVinci Resolve if you want the full-blown version, and like about 20p for some AI when you need it. So you don't have to pay subscriptions. Because I think I've said this in my other videos, we're sort of in this bizarre world now where we were paying for Netflix, we were paying for Hulu, we were paying for Disney, we're paying for all these channels, and you get hammered by the subscriptions for television. And now in the same way with AI, everything's subscription based. We're paying for OpenAI, we're paying for Claude. Do you know what I mean? It just goes on. We're paying for Groq. We're paying for all, like the one with the K, the Tesla one. So you're paying for all these subscriptions. So any chance you can use, like with the Groq with the Q, the one I showed you, is like pay as you go. So I only need it when I need it. When I ask the question, I pay for it as opposed to paying $20 or $30 a month for, you know, these things. Anyway, there's tons you can do. Any questions, ask me in the comments, like, subscribe, all that sort of stuff. If you've got a potential distribution that you'd like me to load up, go through and install stuff and get it working. And I mean, if you need me to scripts written, give us a shout. If there's enough people asking for scripts, I can get those. I can knock something up. But I'm mainly focused on DaVinci Resolve things. Anyway, thanks for your time and thanks for watching.